Hey folks, Marcus here. It's a beautiful day for music. It's a wonderful day for sound. I'm going to be watching, hyping up, reacting to the Blue Knights 2025. This is from a few days ago, so the 11th of July and whatnot. So it's quite possible that a lot of the things I'm going to notice here could be slight rewrites by the time that you see it. Some of the probable issues that I'm going to see here probably already been taken care of. They have an amazing staff. They have an amazing team of people, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Go ahead and like the video on the way in. This video comes from rbase311, so thank you. Y'all go subscribe to that page. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. This is top to 20, top of the opener to
Top
20.
of the show.
In.
That means that they've been working on this the longest.
Energy right from the get-go, first time.
Energy,
Set.
I love it. Almost. Yes. Yes. So immediately with those kind of those unison kind of 16th notes, the first beat, cool. You know, this is their first rep of it. It didn't really lock in all the way until kind of the second beat. What was really hard are these figures just like a lot of people are writing that kind of stuff now. And they nailed it here. It was very nice. Good quality on that triplet roll, the tap roll, specifically listening for that left hand, and then to be with the right placement, and then the evenness and blend for the rest of those triplets after that, not squeezing out that last left hand going into the downbeat, and they perform that beautifully. I'll back it up a little bit so you can catch some of that.
All right, let's do it. This is top to 20, top of the opener to 20. 8 and in. Let's bring the energy right from the get-go, first time. Set.
Yeah. Yeah. And then from a composition standpoint, just popping around with all of these buzz roll kind of stabbing sort of articulations, like they hit it from the beginning, they immediately kind of drop out for the next voice to poke itself through, just popping throughout all of the different pitch classes, right? The soprano pitch class, the tenor, and the bass pitch class. And I love stuff like that, and they performed it beautifully. It is possible to play buzz rolls dirty because they still have the three parts of a note, kind of like other sustained instruments. They have the attack part, they have the sustain part, and then they have the release part. And notice here that they did those very nice, right? The attack part was on, the sustain part, and then that end release is where I'm really looking for a clean break coming out of the density of those notes there. Let's back it up so you can hear a little bit of that. Yeah, basses fell out a little bit. Almost. Left hand was just out. Shot was out. Beautiful. Almost. Yeah. So, and then the boom, pop, flop, boom, right for that next interest, do doom, pop, bop, boom, boom, boom. That one. Basses are in there, like those splits are balancing very nice. We did have a little bit of some problem with both of those tap rolls, but I think the quality of how they're approaching it is very nice, and that's really going to lock in for them. It's going to be exciting to see. Let's keep on going here. I'll back it up. Yes. Almost. Look at the big boom. Yeah. Yeah. Do suck tuck tuck doom. When we get big, sometimes it's very difficult to have that kind of energy, putting out that amount of sound, and then still having a certain amount of integrity of the rhythms and quality as far as playing from person to person. They're doing a really good job at it here, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how that's going to refine itself to be big, but also open and accurate at the same time. So that's going to be a very nice moment for them.
Reset.
As a side note, I really like the way the drums and the uniforms kind of
moving through all those dotted figures, the 4-lit and the 5-lit. All of those macros stay the same. A little slow on the 5 one.
Yeah, so I really like the
Same
way
thing,
that their uniforms and
Same
their
thing,
drums
8
kind of
and out.
match each other. It's really cool.
Set.
It's like a copper sort of feeling. Yeah, just falling out. Ooh, yes, tenors. Almost. Yeah, the basses didn't get that bugada that time. They did get it the first time though. Yeah. And then once again, they're going to start to really refine those moments that they really have to put out that big energy, but also have refinement within some of those moments. It starts to get a little bit hairy and some of those things. And then some people are definitely using different muscle groupings when those moments of just full out playing happens. And all of that stuff they're going to definitely work out within their sectionals and things as they move forward. I love the way, by the way, their bass drums sound. They're tuned very nicely. That one part where the tenors had that kind of split, that was really nice. I really liked it. We'll move on forward here.
Cool.
I like the tilt also.
Next
It's a
one's
subtle
top of
tilt.
2 to 38. Top 2 to 38. 8 and in. Set.
Nice attack. Ooh, some clicky clickies. Perform nicely too. Yes. Not so much. Yes. Beautiful. Almost. Okay. Yeah, that space is hard. Didn't work out. Ooh. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So a few things about phrases like this. These are the types of phrases that you're going to be sort of molding and manipulating throughout your whole season. It's dealt with space, the touch of your instrument, having these buzz rolls, having entrances not be on the downbeat, having different nuanced inflections with these phrases as we kind of popcorn them around your ensemble. So where it sounds easy, but in essence, it is very difficult, right? Both from a technical standpoint and from the standpoint of shaping it musically, right? So these phrases will be a season-long thing for them to sort of marinate, for it to sit right in the hands, for the players to be mature enough to know this is sort of the micro phrasing within these little sections here. And then you're still dealing with, can we get the spacing correct? Can we all have the same touch within the nuance of this type of phrase? So for this one, it's hard. Sometimes it's way harder than all of the choppy phrases where they're doing all the flams and hybrid rudiments and that kind of stuff. So here we kind of see that, and it's still early in the season for them. So they're gonna get this. The writing is beautiful as far as the different rhythmic counterpoint. And all that just means is that sometimes you have writing that's very on top of one another, right? It's very unison-based writing. And then you have writing that has some unison parts, but then some parts that kind of fit in between one another. And that's kind of the stuff that we have going on here. There's parts that are together. There's parts that happen separate as far as the different voicings. And then we have a mixture of that happening in between. And those things are hard, especially when you have a lot of space. Let's listen to that one more time here, and then we'll move on. Beautiful shaping from the bass drums. A little bit tight on the pagadão. Yeah. Almost. Yeah. And then just like I was saying before, with the three parts of any sustained note, the same thing happens with buzz rolls, right? The beginning of the buzz roll, the attack, the middle part, that's sustained, and then the end, the release. That time is just within the tenor voice. The sustained portion was just a little bit uneven. You could hear some pulsing kind of within there. But that's stuff that'll definitely be ironed out. Almost, yeah. Yes. I love the writing. Okay, yeah, sometimes just fast when we got to the singles. Yes. Yes. Almost. Yes. Yes, yes. Almost. Ooh, man, those are fast. Yeah. So, that's a cool phrase. I hope that's a feature, right? That has to be. I believe it is. I've seen their show once on Flow Marching on the live stream, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the features there. Bass drums are killing it for a lot of that. The nuance of the shaping within the bass voice is definitely something that sticks out for me here. That type of rhythm, once again, the like in triplets, that's a difficult one because it feels very much so like a rough, right? Or like a drag, but it's a rhythm. And when you have that many people playing that rhythm, it is once again something that's a season-long project as far as do we have each individual person having the same exact interp with that. So and they're already like super close with it, so that's going to be really nice to see. The interplay between all the voices here is something that intrigues me, and this is the type of stuff for me as a writer, right? I'm in the middle of writing a bunch of shows now that I'm always interested in seeing, like, okay, I hear this by itself now, but how does that fit in with the front ensemble writing as far as from a composition standpoint? And then how do both of those elements fit in within the rest of the winds? And here it's interesting already by itself. And I would love to kind of go back and hear how all of the parts fit together. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully they'll get a second rep at this. Yeah, I think they're going to do it again. A very underrated thing is when people play like clicks on the drum.
Right at 28, when we connect in that ensemble form, took us a second to lock it in, make sure our ears are there right away. Cool.
Yeah.
This is
so
same
people
chunk, 8 and out, please. 8
and out. That just means they're going to have the metronome to start, and then the metronome's going to cut off. But a very underrated thing is people playing clicks on the drum, like rims. Once again, good attack. Almost. Way better than the first time. Yes. Ooh. Yes. Almost. Yeah. And then so both sections, like when they had that rolled on that spot, I believe, for the tenors, and then the bass that has it with it, it was both happening, but it just didn't happen together and with those sections. And that's the kind of stuff. It could just be because they're in the lot. It's not in the same listening environment as it is on the field. Because at the end of the day, what happens on the field matters way more than any of this that actually happens in the lot, right? So, and it could just be where the microphone was placed here. It could be a bunch of things, but it just didn't lock in from this particular vantage point. Okay. Yes. Almost. Yeah, somebody's just squeezing out of some of those rolls at the end there. Yeah, it's way better than the other time. Almost. It was beautiful shaping on the stick shots. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be real cool. So immediately, like, it's just the amount of hand changes, right, when we go through this stuff. And what I mean by hand changes is when you break down certain parts and you just go over the bass rhythms and the check behind some of the parts. A lot of these parts have very different hand speeds and very different things that you have to do with the pressure in your fulcrum and your hand embouchure, however you want to think about it, that you have to do to make these switches. And these switches are definitely like you can't blend or slur them at all. It definitely has to lock into these rhythms right when it happens. And there's very little time to adjust to it if it just doesn't happen, because it happens so quickly back and forth. This is one of the sort of calling cards of good ensembles that are really like still at the beginning of their journeys. They need a check before the roll. If it's a triplet based roll, there has to kind of be some triplets that happen before the roll for them to be able to do it, right? If there's a 16th note based roll, there has to be 16th notes that happen before the roll happens for them to be able to do it. For an ensemble like this, there's no check before the thing. They just have to do the thing right when it's supposed to happen, and that's great. But it's also hard. It is very difficult, and this is stuff that people work on even at the highest level, as we can see here. This is stuff that people work on for a season-long process, just to make sure that when it's time to do it, every single person can do it all at once. It's like trying to get a whole basketball team to all shoot and make a three-pointer at once, right? And that's essentially what's happening with a lot of these phrases, and it's happening consistently. And they're very mature with the way that they're actually approaching some of the stuff. So I really appreciate that.
Cool. Can we scoot this back a little bit, please?
Scooch, scooch, scooch.
Cool.
The background in this video, by the way, looks beautiful. All of the trees and the mountains. I'm pretty sure it's hot out there, but at least on video, it looks wonderful.
38 to 50.
38 to 50.
Set.
Let's do it. This is for you, mama. Ooh. Ooh. Da-da, 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 beautiful. Yes. Almost. yeah. So this motif of this ta-da, like when it happens, these two notes, the ta-da, 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 like these, and the second note is so hard to get sometimes, right? When people do it right, it makes it seem easy, yeah. But then just the exact spacing between that downbeat, that first attack, and then where does that left hand live in space and time? And they're doing a great job at it. And then not only are they doing that from a spacing standpoint, but they're shaping it going down, right? Basses have these sort of squid things that happen going on in there, and they even shaped that, right? It's just, and it just goes all the way down. Very nice job. And once again, we go back to this sort of calling card with the compositional identity, right? Everybody kind of has a voice, and the voice here is this kind of this counterpoint of buzz here, buzz there, and the way things sort of shape down, and then having that quality in the way it kind of explodes and expands out, creating a beautiful kind of energy. I really like it. And I will say this, of course, there were issues within that particular phrase, but this isn't the end for them. Like, this isn't the final product. We're still fairly early in the season, and I'm really enjoying the artful nature of the product, right? Of course, they're still working on the product. It takes a long time, right? Every Broadway show that you've ever seen has taken years to not only develop, but also to actually work on, to workshop, to get every single part correct. With things like drum corps, all of that has to happen in the span of a few months. And that's what makes it so amazing for me to watch that process, both on the design team and the process from a student standpoint, the people who are actually playing it. It's a very short amount of time in relation to the other types of professional shows that are out here in the world, right? We have some clappy clappies.
Let's be 8 and out.
I love when people hype it up in the lot. I love when people clap in the lot. It really encourages the performers. They've worked so hard to get here.
Same much, 8 and out. Set.
Yeah. Beautiful spacing, opening up those doubles. Yeah, and they got that tap roll that time. Almost. It was better the first time. Aw. It's close. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. That's gonna be real nice. I love that. Top of 4. One of the instructors is gonna walk up and start whispering in people's ears.
My bad.
Always love that. They're like saying covert messages to them, you know. And it's not always bad stuff, by the way. Sometimes you walk up and you're saying positive things to them. It's like, hey, man, that was great. Hey, you're rushing the and a 4, you know. Just really cool. I like it when that happens.
All right. Yo, this is all of 2. This will be 8 and out.
All of 2, 8 and out. So the Met's going to click for 8 times, and then it's going to cut off. That attack wasn't in. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Almost. Yeah. Yeah, that's hard. Beautiful job with those threes. Yes, yes, yes. Don't touch the doll. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody just close it down as we did the decrescendo. Yeah. Almost. The roll was so beautiful, though. Man, yeah, and the bases are so close with those lasers. Yeah, so a few things then. Um, the notes that happen in between some of those little buzz phrases, like that one moment of clarity that it has to lock into before we go back into that next little buzz moment in the tenors, that's hard. It's difficult to line up. The snare moment was really nice, and when we had that little pianissimo at the edge triplet roll, I would bet all of my money that is beautifully balanced in real life when you stand like right in front of it. It's just coming out of it when we had the singles and things, and then when we have the sort of two-hand accent pattern that's kind of going back and forth. Honestly, I think probably someone was just a little bit fast, right? And that's a very common thing for moments like that, for people to start to close down the space as opposed to keeping the space open, especially when there's very physical moments with things like that. But man, that is really cool writing, and I really appreciate the way that they are approaching it. It's very nice. Once again, da-da, da-da, da-da. It just holds the composition together. Yes. Ooh. Yes. Almost. Yeah. And then they had like a real shot there. Just know that most people, when they play rim shots, they sort of pull back, and we call them ping shots. That's kind of the standard way that a lot of people play those. So there will be sometimes that people want a little bit of a thicker, chunkier texture, so they don't actually pull back to play the rim shot. They leave the stick where it is, so then the rim hits like way further back on the stick, and it just has a nice chalky, like thick kind of sound, right? Like grandma's gumbo. That's where I'm going to end sort of today's video as far as my reaction to the Blue Knights. They're on a very good path. I really like the composition. I like the energy. I like the way that they approach the drums. The interplay between all of the different sections is written in so beautifully. And what's going to be difficult, especially on the field, is locking those little bits and pieces and popcorning back and forth. Because I'm sure they're going to be clean individually, like as individual sections, the snares, the tenors, the basses. But then when you have to start to put all of that stuff together within a spatial environment while you're marching around, that's really difficult. And then trying to line all of that up from an up top standpoint with the front ensemble, and then eventually with the rest of the wind ensemble, that's where the money is. Like, that's the money maker, right? Can you actually line all of these pieces up from an ensemble standpoint, and those, all of that nuance of pushing and pulling and that kind of stuff is really what makes the compositions intriguing. And you can listen to it over and over and over again, and you're always finding new connections. You're like, wow, I didn't know the snares lined up with the basses like that. Oh, I didn't know the tenors lined up with the xylophone like that. Did you hear that thing with in the drum set part with the basses? And you're always kind of going back and forth. And it always, there's these little nuggets, these little Easter eggs that are kind of written in there. And that's what I really appreciate about writing at this level, and the way that they're eventually going to play it with clarity and dignity and aggression at this level. Once again, it's a beautiful day for music. It's a wonderful day for sound. Let me know what you think about the Blue Knights. Let me know who you think I should react to next, and like your video on the way out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.